All right, let's dive in. The world of AI is moving so fast, right? It feels like it changes every single day, and honestly, it's easy to get lost in the noise. So in this explainer, we're going to cut through all that. We're taking the key signals from the Next in AI newsletter to give you a really clear 360-degree view of what's actually happening. We'll see how AI is expanding into totally new areas, how the research is deepening what it can do, and how the whole ecosystem is starting to mature with some new rules. Let's get to it. You know, every now and then you read a sentence that just stops you in your tracks. This is one of them. It hints at a massive change that's creeping into the most unexpected corners of our lives. But what on earth could it be talking about? A fingertip? Believe it or not, we're talking about Olympic curling. Yeah, a huge controversy over a possible double touch of a curling stone is now being settled by high-tech sensors. It sounds almost funny, but it's the perfect example of a much bigger trend. AI is no longer just for the tech world. It's becoming the new referee, the new source of truth, in practically every field you can imagine, from the boardroom all the way to the curling rink. Okay, so to get our heads around this huge, expanding universe, we've broken this down into 4 key parts. First, we're going to look at AI out in the real world, the actual products that are shipping right now. Then, we'll jump to the research frontier to see how its capabilities are getting deeper. After that, we'll cover how the whole system is maturing. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with your key takeaway. So let's start with what's actually happening on the ground. This isn't some far-off theory. This is all about the real-world applications of AI that are already in the market, changing how we create, how we work, and even how we look after our health. And the scope here, it's just breathtaking. I mean, AI is pushing into literally every domain. In the creative world, you've got models generating music. For huge societal problems, it's becoming a key tool in things like the global fight against heart disease. In the business world, it's unifying customer data. We're seeing massive global expansion and a startup scene that's growing and hiring like crazy. It's really touching every single sector.
Now, if you think the big companies are moving fast, the startup scene is just on another level entirely. It's operating at a completely different velocity. New products are launching pretty much constantly. And just to give you a feel for that pace, we're going to do a little rapid-fire rundown of a few recent launches from Product Hunt.
First up, we've got Mengram. This is an AI memory API. The easiest way to think about it is that it gives your apps a long-term memory, the ability to actually remember facts, past events, and even complex workflows. It's a really foundational piece for building more sophisticated AI agents. Then you've got something like CertNode Reflex, which is tackling a really specific and really expensive business problem: credit card chargebacks. It's an AI that actually defends businesses, and I love the business model here. You only pay when you win. That shows a whole lot of confidence in the technology. Next, let's look at the plumbing, the infrastructure layer. Agent Ready is all about a huge pain point for anyone building with AI: the cost. It promises to slash what are called token costs, which is basically the price you pay for the AI to think, by up to 60%. That makes developing with AI way more accessible and easier to scale. And finally, here's one for all of us. FeedX uses AI to deal with information overload. It takes all your YouTube subscriptions, summarizes them, and just gives you the important stuff. A perfect example of AI acting as your own personal curator. And remember, that's just a tiny snapshot from a few days of launches. Okay, so let's shift gears from the market to the lab. Everything we just saw, all those cool products, they were all built on yesterday's research. So this next part is all about that second key theme: deepening AI's core abilities. What's coming next is being designed and built right now in research papers and experiments. So what are those huge, thorny problems that researchers are just obsessed with solving right now? Well, it really seems to boil down to 2 big things: making AI more capable in the physical world, and just as important, making it way more trustworthy and reliable. Now, what's so cool about this is how it takes a mountain of really complex research and just boils it down into 2 clear goals. On one side, you've got making AI physical. This is all about giving robots human-like skill, the ability to handle weirdly shaped objects, to unfold a piece of cloth, to precisely control their hands. And then on the other side, you have reliability. This is the absolutely crucial work of making sure AI agents do what we tell them to, building secure systems and creating better guardrails so they operate safely. let's just quickly define dexterous manipulation, because it's a really key idea here. We're not just talking about a robot picking up a simple block. We're talking about giving it the skill to, say, pick up your messy chain key, find the right key, and actually turn it in a lock, all while adapting to the shape and the physics of the task with something that looks almost like human grace. And the ambition of this research is just staggering. I mean, researchers are using large language models, the tech behind things like ChatGPT, to design quantum experiments. That's a task at the very edge of what humans can do. At the same time, they're building new models to spot financial fraud, they're exploring creativity by trying to coach an LLM into a poet, and they're even digging into the really deep ethical questions about AI in healthcare. Okay, so this brings us to our third section, which really ties the first two together. Because for all this amazing expansion and all this deep research, to really succeed, we need a stable foundation to build on. This is where the whole ecosystem starts to grow up and create some rules of the road. And that's exactly what's beginning to happen. This is a pretty big deal. The U.S. National Institute of Standards and Technology, or NIST, just announced a new AI Agent Standards Initiative. Now, whenever a major government body like NIST steps in to create standards, that's a huge sign that a technology is moving out of the Wild West phase and is becoming a mature, foundational part of our economy. So what's this initiative really trying to do? Well, it boils down to three pretty simple but absolutely critical goals. First, create standards that give businesses and all of us the confidence to actually adopt AI on a wide scale. Second, make sure these agents are fundamentally secure. And third, and this is a big one, make sure they can all work together. So an agent from one company can talk to a service from another company without any hitches. This is basically building the bedrock for the whole ecosystem. All right, let's pull all of this together. We've looked at the real-world applications, the cutting-edge research, and the new rules that are starting to form. So what's the big picture here? What's the one strategic idea you should take away from all this activity? And this right here illustrates it perfectly. There are three things happening in parallel right now. In the market, AI's footprint is expanding at an unbelievable rate. In the lab, its core abilities are deepening. It's getting more reliable and more capable in the physical world. And across the whole ecosystem, the entire field is maturing as those foundational rules and standards are being built. It's not just one thing happening. It's expansion, deepening, and maturation, all at the same time. Which leaves us with one final and really critical question. We are living through the foundational moment. The platforms, the rules, the core technologies, it's all being designed and built right now in real time. And the question for all of us is, who will those architects be? Startups, big tech, researchers, governments? The answer is probably all of them. And the decisions being made today, they're going to shape our world for decades to come.